can see there. As you may have gathered from the title, we are doing a paper mache lure. The reason I'm doing this is I don't think this is something many people have done. I don't think this is something that is going to be easy to make work. So what I'm going to do is take this newspaper. We don't read the newspaper here. I actually go and buy a newspaper so I can make a lure. We didn't have any spare newspaper laying around. Who reads newspapers? They're not news. They're media hype papers. That's what I reckon anyway. Oh, these lures here are here as a reminder. Tonight, I drew these lures as part of our Patreon giveaways. And the paper mache lures, I'm going to try and do a diver and a paddler, are going to be Patreon giveaway lures. So once I've built them and fished them, if they work, even if they don't work, they're going to be given away to one of our patrons. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get some wire. We're going to craft a cage in the shape of a diver and in the shape of a paddler. We're going to get some glue. We're going to soak some paper. I'm going to make paper mache lure. Now they're going to be hollow and I don't think that's going to work. So I've actually thought this through. Expander foam. We're going to fill the lures with expander foam. Before we get to that point, what we're going to do is build our cage and we're going to create our toe point and hook points and put it through the cage while it's empty. Use a bit of super glue. Not our good super glue for sealing and stuff, just a bit of this super glue to hold it where we want it on the cage. Paper mache, leave a couple of holes, fill it with expander foam. Cut that out, paper mache it to a shape, and go from there. We're going to put lead in it and we're winging it. We're going to wing it. So let's see how we go. Got some wire. Not really the wire you would use for paper mache, but it's the wire I have and I didn't have to buy any, so I'm going to cut it down the middle. I think I might start with the surface lure because that's going to be simpler. I'm literally going to go with the same sort of shape I had on my bank build lure. So I think if I fold that like that, I reckon. Been a long time since I've done paper mache. Alright, let's go something like that. And then let's go something like that. Oh yeah. Yeah, see? Then we get a cylinder sort of thing. Alright. So we go like that. Alright, like that. Just twist that in there. I'm going to bend these down, alright, and kind of use that as a bit of a guide to shape that. I reckon that's not a bad start, really. I'm going to start with a wire frame, and I reckon that's not a bad wire frame to start with. Now we'll do one for a diver, which is going to be a whole lot harder. But I've just done this so that I can shape the bottom. Now, just for instance, see how I've got that there? See, what I'm sort of going for is trying to make a shape like that underneath. But if I had a cylinder, I wouldn't be able to do that. So if I do that with this, and then build the sides and the top individually, and then when I do the paper, I'll be able to shape it out a bit more. So I think, and then obviously I think that's too long. bit of pipe from doing corn cobs. If I lay that in there, just bend that over. Slide that out. Right, I think we're kind of starting to get a shape. And then we want it to curve in from about here. We're going to have to, I don't know, actually cut it. Alright, at the moment guys, I'm just winging it, so if I'm not saying much, well, I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make a lure shape, a diver shape with some wire. This is just pure luck what I'm doing here, if this works. I reckon it kind of looks like the front of a lure. It's only quite a big lure actually, that. It's starting to look like a skew with lure. It's way off. But we're going to add paper, so we're going to fix that. Bib in there. Paper over that to shape that out a bit nicer, and I think that's starting to look like a lure. That's about as good as I'm going to get it before I paper it. Surface, diver. Fronts it to that side. So that'll be a paddler. And that'll, hopefully. Next morning guys, I've got a wire. Now, of course, I'm going to make these through wire. And the reason for that is they're going to be made out of paper mache. They're not going to be... There's an ant on my GoPro. Oi, get off there. Alright, saved us. There's not going to be much solid about this, right? I still really don't know how it's going to work. So, what I'm going to do is do a through wire and glue it to the frame in a couple of spots and hope once it's filled with expander foam and it's all twisted through wire, most of the weight is from the toe point to the hook hangers and not to the rest of the lure. I really have no idea how this is going to work. This is all experimental. So you could be watching a video where I don't even end up making a lure. Suckers. I mean, thanks for tuning in, guys. Piece of paper, honey. Here she is, Lexi. What are you doing? What are you doing, Lexi? Hey, the puppy dog. What are you, Lexi? What are you doing? What are you doing? So I need to figure out maybe the tail point. Oh, come on, be out there somewhere. Got my other hook hanger right about there. Yeah. Alright, so what I want to do that's going to be facing down. It's going to bend that like that. Take this measure up. There's very technical data on it, and stand it there like that. Alright, and that gives me where I actually want the end of the, right there like that. So I'm going to go around that like that, and then what I'm going to do is go back up here and bend it back beside that. I'm going to hold that and go around that. So what we then have is, when it pulls from the front and the back, it's not going to try and pull that U open. If it was just a U, because it's not going to be that solid inside the lure, there's a chance that the expander foam or paper mache, etc. would give way and it would just pull open. Now we've done that, we've essentially locked it. Just going to squeeze that down there. Oh. And then I'm going to just do some adjustments to make this all the same. We'll try and get this in here. Oh yeah. That's it. Look at that. Bend that like that, because the bib's going to be down on a bit of an angle. So what I'm going to do is make sure I get this right. Oh, a couple of drops there. And then I've got an activator for super glue. That should activate that. And it's stuck to there. We'll do the same thing on these points. Essentially straight away, and then down here, and then I'm going to just put a bit more around each one, that long. And what we have, guys, is a metal frame kind of in the shape of a lure with a through-wire system embedded in it. Not too shabby. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like when I'm done. So far it looks like crap. I've just done the same thing with this wire frame. I didn't think there was any point me filming me twisting a wire when I did the same method, just a little bit different shape on this one for the surface paddler. So it's glued at the bottom, it's glued there, it's got the same locking system through the center point so that it's essentially a straight wire and won't try and pull apart. I've super glued it and activated, and I'm just going to now do bibs, and then we're going to start paper macheing. Woo! Bibs, 2mm polycarb. Oh, got him! Yes! That's what happens when you try and bite me. Folded that, bent that one up. I'm just about to drill the holes so I can peel them, and then we can get cracking. I'm gonna have to get you guys a new battery, because I can see what's gonna happen. You're gonna go flat. Do you want to play tug of war? You do. Hey? Hey? You're a terror. You're a terror! Yes, you are! Woo! This is why I wanted to do the bibs before I paper mache it. I'm going to have to paper mache the bib in, I think. Because otherwise, it's just going to move. Or it's not going to be solid enough. Look at that. I'm going to bend this up while we're here. I bloody knew you would. I started twisting this, I finished it, and then I just glued the bib in with the super glue and activator just to hold it. And then we're going to start paper macheing around that. This one, I'm going to paper mache first, and then we'll put the bib on after. Something like that. And something like that, that'll go. But we'll paper mache this first. Right, now for the messy bit. Paper mache. Get some glue. Blob it in there like that. Get our newspaper. A nice gross coating of this stuff on. This is a sticky, dirty job. Sticking to me already. It's not what we want. And you like just push it around your eyelets. I say this with confidence, but I actually have no idea. I've never done this before. Squeeze all the glue out from between the layers. Oh no, just right up on the bib. What I literally want is like one layer, pretty much, for now, to let dry, so then I can do the expander foam in the middle, and then I'll come back, and then it should be like not as frail with the bulky center, so I should be able to then go to town and put a few layers on. Instead, should be pretty loose further than I thought. I think I've got a pretty good sealing layer that when this dries, I'll be able to pump full of expander foam. I hope. So I'm going to hang this one up and then I'm going to do the surface paddler. Ooh, look at that. Kind of looks like a lure-ish thing. I'll hang that one up and then we'll come back later. Touch dry and ready for expander foam. Whoa, look at that. Just about to recall them for surface paddlers and a couple other projects for sale. And those ones drying out on the back of my car are 10 squid jigs, also to be for sale when I sort them out. For now, let's expander foam these. Foam fill. Triple expanding filler. Look at it already expanding out. This is going to make a mess. Scraping it off as it comes out a little bit. I think my lure center has some sort of solidity, because otherwise it's just going to be hollow, and I don't like that idea. It's just pushing out this little consistent line of foam. Oh, gee, it's working its way out everywhere. Look at that. It's coming out there. That's good. That'll make, I think, make sure it's filling in all the cavities. Just going to sit this down here on a box so that if it like explodes out everywhere, it's not all over my stuff. It's just to help it find the right way up. I think that'll be plenty. I need to get that in. I thought about that over and over again and then I missed it, so I forgot it. I'm just going to cut a hole there. Push that in to make a bit of a cradle. Okay, that sits in pretty good. I'm just going to super glue this wire, set that down on it, push it, I'll push over that way, come on, oh, too far. Aha! Gotcha! Now, essentially, what I've done is just sealed up all those gaps there with the super glue around the lead. Once the foam's in around all this, that'll be around that lead on the inside and everything. I can't see it going anywhere. Oh, just had to clear the pipe out. Now, if I can get this in here somehow. Oh, it's way too much. There we go. Oh, look at it bloody filling that out and pouring out. Hopefully, just keep it off the bib a bit. Just done. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, not even showing you. So just like that. So, oh, I'm getting this stuff everywhere. Whose idea was this stuff? Oh. No, this stuff's gone tacky. So what happens is it stops expanding and starts to go tacky, and then it goes hard into a foam. So it's pushed this one out as well. Alright, and that'll give us something firm to start layering more paper onto. Once it's dry, I'll actually cut this off with a knife, like shave it, and then we'll start building it up with paper and glue and start making our lure. That's that for now as well. We're just gonna have to go away and wait for this stuff to set. Carving knife. We're pretty close to dry, and I just want to see. Oh, nice. I think we're more than pretty close to dry. I think it's dry. Oh, that carves so good. Alright. Aha. So it's got a bit of a bow there if you see the bow on the bib. I'm going to have to try and sort that out with I wonder if it's just pushed up, if there's wire there. So I think I've got the ability to do a bit of shaping now. We have a bit of firmitude. It's a bit firm. I can sort of shape it a bit. This might be better than I expected. I feel like this is going to be really soft. But hopefully, I think I said at the start, most of the pressure should be when your line's on here. If a fish grabs that, it should be directly through. So there shouldn't be too much pressure on this. It's only if a big fish grabs it and tries to lever against it, we might see some issues. But we're going to put a whack of Mache around the outside. Hopefully that strengthens it up. And then obviously clear coat, we'll do a bit of painting and clear coat. So hopefully we get something to be proud of, I guess. Right, so I think the basic shape of this one now, all we have to do is start building it up with paper and just keep building and building till we get what we're after. This one is going to be a berserk. So we're going to rip up some more paper. Alrighty guys, I'm going to overlay some music and just speed this up. I'm literally going to dip these in the glue and wrap them onto the lures. And we're just going to start building our shape up. I'm going to build it up a little bit bigger than I want, because I'm pretty sure, being paper and glue, yeah, I'll be able to sand that down. So I'll be able to sand it to shape. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's a big lure, but hopefully it catches me a big fish.
Into the black hole. Sing for my soul. Through the black hole. To make myself whole again.
This is what we got, this massive glob of paper and glue that kind of resembles a lure, but then I'm going to sand it tomorrow when it's dry, and this is the surface paddler, which definitely looks like a surface paddler-ish. Same deal, I'll sand that down and we'll see how we go. The foam has warped the frames a little bit, obviously where the paper was thicker and solider it didn't push out as much, but hopefully with a bit of sanding we'll get them both into working condition. And that is a big diver. You're gonna have to catch a big cod on that. The paddler, that'll catch a cod. So yeah, we'll leave them to dry and tomorrow we'll be back sanding and see how we go. It is hot as balls. Isn't it, Lexi? Hey? Isn't it? It's super hot. Hear that panning? It's hot. I just moved a whole heap of timber and stuff and I'm wrecked. Anyway. These are pretty solid. Alright, paper mache lures. We're going to give them a sand, try and shape them a little bit more. And then I'm not sure. See how much I have to sand off them. I might have to give them a bit more paper mache. If not, I'll probably give them a coat of, say, like epoxy to seal it and strengthen it. And then paint it, I guess. Paint them. Yeah, I don't know how I'll go with eyes on these. I don't think I'm going to try and drill eyes. I might just try and stick some on. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, for now, we're going to sand, just try and sand that a bit smoother and try and sand that out. And yeah, so that's what we're up to. Sandpaper, newspaper. Who would have thunk it? That's about all I'm going to do with that one. It's made out of paper mache. It's never going to be perfect. In fact, oi, you stay here. In fact, I could try and improve this, but I would be sanding down so much paper, and then I'd have to rebuild layers and layers and layers of it again. So what I'm going to do is leave that like that and give it a epoxy coat and firm it up, let that suck into the paper and strengthen it and hold it solid, and then maybe give it a fine sand to just try and make it as smooth as I can get it. I'm going to sand this one now with the coarse stuff and then do the same thing. I've mixed up a copious amount of resin and I am just going to smear these things. I would have you up another rung higher, but the tripod is cracking the sads. So I've sanded them both about as good as they're going to get. There's little lumps and bumps and things in them just because they're paper mache. It's hot, so the resin's actually pretty runny. So what I'm going to do is just try and put like a ton of it on, let it soak into the paper, let it run around. Hopefully, as I put the rotisserie on in a second, like fill out any of the last remaining lumps and bumps and things. Just really get a nice, solid, decent layer on the paper, kind of as a sealer and a strengthener. If it soaks into the paper a bit, I think that'll be really, really good for it. Let's put this on. You guys are low on battery, so you'll cut out any minute now. There's quite a lot of resin disappearing into this, so gonna hit that with the torch and let it dry, and that's that for the moment. I've actually decided that I'm not going to paint these. As a patron on our Patreon, you get like updates that other people don't get and whatever. So I posted a picture of these last night with the full intent of painting them, but I just said, sort of, can you guess what they're made out of? No one guessed, but one of the blokes said they look awesome the way they are. And I thought about it and went, they actually do look pretty cool the way they are. So I'm not going to paint them. What I am going to do is sand them back and do another coat of epoxy so that they are smoother and more solid. They do look pretty good, but there's a few patchy little patches. So we'll sand them and we're going to give them another coat. I did decide to glue and screw the bib on with this coat. I thought, I'm putting epoxy all over it, so I just marked where it was, slid the bib on and screwed it and glued it, and now another lot of epoxy will sort of sit in and tuck in around that, and I think that'll really help with the whole sealing it and strengthening it up. Like, it feels pretty solid as it is anyway, so hopefully it swims. We have no idea what it's going to be like yet. I'm going to get a bit of this 180 grit, and I'm just going to sort of run it along and hopefully knock out any of these little ridges that are in it. Sort of sand like this and then wipe it. You'll see the scuffed areas, and then the clear areas are where it's low. So this will take those high points down a little bit, and then hopefully another coat of epoxy on the rotisserie will fill those low points in as well. And then I might even give it a light sand before I clear coat it. We're just going to sand both these lures back and glue eyes on and then epoxy them. That's what we're doing. You're a doofus. You're a doofus. Just mixing up another batch of epoxy. I'm going to start painting that all over these, all over the eyes, all over the lures, the eyes, any bits that don't look waterproof or sealed. Hit it with a heat gun on the rotisserie. Sorry about the sweat, guys. It is like 50 degrees in this shed. It's ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, so I am about to do that. And then we'll just leave it on the rotisserie. Righto guys, a couple of things. I'm not sure exactly where I left you. I've done a little bit, a couple of coats of clear coat on them. They're pretty much ready to go. We're going to put hooks on them and swim test them in the pool now. It's the height of summer here, and it's actually, the last 3 days have been hot, like hot. I think they've all been around 40 degrees, which is about 100 degrees for you guys in America. So it's been warm. So this is what we're looking at. And this brings me to the one other thing I need to say. I said I was going to give both of these away as a Patreon. I'm thinking I'm just going to give this one away, and I'm going to keep the diver. I don't know how it's going to work. It might not even swim at all. But I need to start keeping lures here and there for my mantelpiece as well. So the winner will get the paddler, paper mache paddler for Patreon in February. I'll keep the diver, but there'll still be a little giveaway. There always is. There's one every month for patrons. Pretty happy with them all. A couple little minor touches, but I will touch them up after we've fished them. There's some bubbles trapped in here. I gave it a real thick coat, which you saw, of epoxy. I then did that again, and I mixed up heaps, and I concentrated really hard on one, then went to the other one. It was starting to dry, so I was rushing it and rushing that, and by the time I got to the heat gun to pop the bubbles, it had started to go hard. So there's a few micro bubbles in it, but overall the look is very unique looking lure. So there we go, paper mache lure. So we're going to put hooks and rings on them now, take them to the pond, see how they swim. We've gone owner ST66 2Os and owner STX 1Os. That's really the way, mate. Yes. So we had a crap ton of rain this morning, and the water's already started to murk up a bit. And on top of that, so there's a few things. This lure is much bigger than I would normally throw in here, much bigger. But it's the lure I made, so it's the lure I've got. Rain has murked the water up, and also sometimes a rain like that can turn the fish down. It's also raised the river level quite a bit. We might luck out, but I think the fish might be pretty quiet. I'm not actually expecting to catch anything. just gives you an idea of how much rain we had today. It was only this morning. It's all washed and washed out like that, so that's why the river looks the way it does. All this stuff is just washed in like that. Just today, just this morning, so it was never going to be the best session. What I might do, seeing as it's getting to that time anyway, and this just snapped off over there, is change her up to the surface. So we've got the paper mache surface lure. Righto, well, surface cod time. That works well, this one. Look at that. That's crazy good, although when the hook's hooked back like that, it's not going to hook much, is it? Crazy, yeah. Anyway guys, sadly it bucketed down. So over 50 mil of rain, so 2 inches for you guys in America, in about 7 or 8 hours we got. So it poured down and the river's now putrid. It's just not going to be fishable for a little bit. So unfortunately there'll be no fish caught on these lures in this video. I've already dragged it out a week waiting, and I just thought I'm not going to drag it out any longer, so I'm going to put it up as a building fish, but just the one book. Yeah, so thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all the rest of that little stuff. There's some videos will be coming out soon, so keep an eye out for them. Thanks very much for the support guys, and hope you have a good one. Don't forget to fish every opportunity.